Okay. So, this next story is called The Card. As you can see, it's supposed to be a fractal, I think, or something, yeah. It's like a thing within a thing. And this is the really funny thing about this, okay? When I was 13, I was trying to get into School of the Arts to do video, because even though I never made a movie before, I like to write and draw. So in my 13-year-old mind, I was like, I should go into film, because then I can write scripts and draw storyboards, you know? This is me thinking that. And because I didn't want to have to choose, like, writing over drawing or whatever. And I was like, movies are interesting. Like, I like the idea of making movies. Like, you know, I had made a couple, like, homemade, like, movies for school. Like, sometimes we had this option where you could, like, either do, like, an essay or, like, do a video. And I would do a video, you know. So, like, I remember I did one for science class that was just, you know, some facts about, like, the skin and the immune system or something. And I acted it out with toys, just funny. But anyway, so I knew how to edit a little bit. I did the editing on the, it was tape, you know, it was VHS still. Even though it was like 2002, but it was still VHS, you know. And, yeah, so I learned how to edit on a VHS, you know. You gotta line it up just right and, you know, make sure you don't record over anything important, you know, whatever. The days. I don't know if I would remember it if I had to do it right now, you know. I mean, if you gave me like an hour or 20 minutes, something, I could probably figure it out again. But anyway, I knew how to do it back then when I was like 12, so I used to make little movies. So I thought, oh, it's good enough. Little did I know, you know, I'm competing with kids whose, like, parents have been making movies with them, like, in advanced ways or whatever since, like, they were fucking babies. So anyways, I didn't get into the fucking school, but it's fine, whatever. What happened? Anyway, this short story, The Card, I needed, you know, a movie to apply to the school with. And so, I adapted this story to a short movie. It was like 3 minutes long or some shit. Maybe 5. No, it was more like 3. And, presented that as my, application film. And I had my neighbors, my sister, act in it. And my mom acted as an adult child. Like, there's a part where a woman turns into a baby, I think, some shit. Anyway, so they all acted in it for me, and it was funny. And, I probably still have the movie somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, the point is, this fucking story is supposed to be, like, full abstract, like, full mindfuck, like, acid trip, whatever, or whatever I thought that was, like, back then when I was little. And just trying to be weird, or, you know, I'd seen some, like, trippy cartoons and stuff back then, just, like, some weird fucking shit. And, I was trying to do that. So, none of this makes any sense. It's supposed to be, like, a mindfuck nightmare, whatever, you know? And, that's my introduction to this story. Okay, you ready for this shit? Okay, The Card. And then it's funny, because, like, remember what I was saying before about, like, having to put, like, the stats? Hair, eyes, skin, body type, height, weight. Well, usually not weight. Some people like to put weight. To me, it was more like you put height and then you put body type. Like, weight is irrelevant, because you can say, like, oh yeah, my guy, he's 24 years old and he weighs like 160 pounds. It's like, that doesn't tell you what he looks like. Like, 160 pounds doesn't tell you what he looks like. It doesn't tell you shit. It's just like, okay, like, that could be a bunch of different guys. Like, the 160 pounds could be distributed in all these different fucking ways. So you're better off just not even saying their weight. That's kind of weird anyway, but anyway. It was more like you put height and then, like, whatever kind of body type they got, you know? So, anyways, whatever. And then it was really funny, if you want to really get into the whole roleplay culture. All the people who would roleplay females, which is not me, would always play men, pretty much. I experimented with playing females a few times on request of my partner, but I would never voluntarily, or, like, I would never be like, I really, really want to play female. No, I would always be the man. The man. That's a whole other conversation right there. Let's not get too into roleplay culture back in the early 2000s, okay? And it doesn't even exist the way it used to. I mean, obviously I'm sure there's still some similarities between then and now, but now is like, first of all, I haven't even been in the scene in so long, and like, from what I mean, the way it was when I left, like a few years ago, it's pretty much just all porn. And like, anyway, that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different conversation right there. Yeah, the card, let's get on with it. Cow sucker. Yeah, I said cow sucker. Come out right now. Haley scrunched up even tighter under the desk. Her eyes almost popped out of her head as she stared at the card in her hand. She looked up and then stared at it again. Haley hoped the words would change, but they didn't. Oh, this is all misspelled. It's like chat speak, kind of. I have changed your family. Buy me ice cream. Cream is like K-R-E-E-M, so I can change them back. What the fuck? This is like what happens when you have stream of consciousness writing. Whoever it was obviously wasn't good at spelling, but in any case, they were right. Her family had changed. Her mom and big sister were in the other room acting like babies, and now her normally cool brother was calling her cow sucker and trying to kill her. He thought he was an Indian warrior or something. Another non-PC thing. That was not in the movie, by the way. I didn't have anybody dressing up in a headdress or anything like that. I think it was just, I don't know, it was different. What is going on here? She screamed. Who is doing this to me? Haley, whispered a soft voice. She knew who it was immediately. It was her loving sister, Amy. Haley fell asleep in the car. I know, I had the worst dream. She hadn't opened her eyes, so she decided she should. When she did, she saw a big green monster staring down at her. Ah! Again, like the last story, when the dude screamed when he was being reincarnated as a baby, in the moment he died. Silly. I just put on some avocado mask. Actually, that's funny. Suddenly, everything seemed too quiet. Hey, where is everyone? They're all dead, of course. Didn't you know that since you were born? Haley stared at her, open mouth. Oh, I mean mouth open, it says. Amy took off her mask to reveal that her face was purple. Amy, how did that happen? Burp. Somebody burped, and it was a long burp. It was like, it has all these U's. Maybe I can show it in the camera. Like right here. It has like burp. Anyway. Ring! And ring has a bunch of like eyes. It's supposed to be like, I don't know. I tried to do like a telephone ringing noise and that's what came out, like a weird theremin. Anyway, Haley grabbed the phone and threw it. Okay, this had to be real life. It was so hot. She felt so sticky and gooey that she knew she had to get up. Instead, she just turned on the radio. The earth is spinning into the sun. You will all die. That's right, Haley, you die. She pushed it onto the ground. Oh, dude, I remember when I was filming this, my friend, my neighbor, the neighbor's like a younger sister and an older brother. They were like the same age as me and my sister. Yeah, I had him, doing the voice of the part where like her brother was hunting her. I don't think I put that in the movie. Like, but the part where like, this part with the radio guy saying the earth is spinning into the sun, he did the voice for that, and it was funny. I think he had like sore throat or something. It totally like worked, and he was like ad-libbing, and he was like, God save us all, or something. It was fucking funny. I need to find the real video and like put it on YouTube or something. Okay, Crash. Oh, and also when we were making the movie, it was like the best edit was like my sister, like, she was laying on the bed and she was playing the main character, Haley, and she like clicked on the radio she had, and then like when she clicked it off, like everything, like, that's like right when like it cut the video like right on the click, so like everything went black. Like, I don't know, I feel like that was the only good edit that was in that movie. Anyway, crash. Haley wouldn't open her eyes. She decided she wouldn't ever open them. Not until the real world came for her. It never did. At dinner the next night, Amy was sitting with her mom and brother. Last night I had this dream. There was this girl, Haley. I was her sister. Yeah, me too, said her brother. I was trying to kill her. Oh well, it's not like you always dream about real people. Oh, so she only existed in the dream. That's kind of cool. You know what? Oh, that's the end, by the way. You know, I think I really got inspired by, like, there was, like, on cartoon shows, like, sometimes they would have those things where, like, I think, like, on the Rugrats, like, they had something like this where it was, like, somebody would be dreaming, and then there would be, like, a dream within the dream, you know? And, like, the way they, because sometimes in real life I have dreams inside dreams, but it's not like that. Like, it's more, like, I had one the other night, it's just weird. It's more like the dream just transitions, like, to a new scene. But in these, in, like, the Rugrats and stuff, like, I remember they have dreams inside dreams, they wake up and think they're, like, really awake. And then, but then something weird would happen, you know? But wasn't that one episode where it was, like, they were having a dream and people would turn around and they'd be like, I'm not whatever my name is. And they'd have this weird fucking, like, rubber face or whatever. I don't know, my friend sent me a meme of that not too long ago, it made me remember it. But anyway, I think that was kind of, like, part of the inspiration for this. And also, like, I don't know, you know, just little concepts of dreams and shit like that. We used to think about that a lot, or we used to talk about that with my dad a lot when I was, like, a kid. And also, what else? Also, what else was an inspiration? I remember. This is not an inspiration for this story, but I remember that, like, a similar thing where, like, human beings are, like the incarnations of, like, thoughts and stuff like that. They think they're real people, but they're really just, like, you know, the thoughts of other people. I remember when I watched Rumblefish with my dad, he had that theory about that movie, because they never really tell you, like, what's going on in that movie. It's more, like, up to your interpretation. And, like, whatchamacallit. Anyway, yeah, he was saying that his theory about Rumblefish is that the main dude, the one that, I think it's Matt Dillon plays him or somebody like that, and, he was saying that he thinks that guy doesn't really exist in the movie, even though, like, it kind of fucks with your head because it's from his point of view, so you think he has to be real, right? Because you see everything through his eyes. But my dad was saying he had this theory where, like, he thinks that guy is the fake one, and that everybody else is real. Like, the guy who's colorblind and deaf, rides a motorcycle, he's real. And he's just, like, imagining, like, oh, if I had a little brother, this is how he would be. And then the girl at school, like, when he imagines her, like in her underwear, like, you know, being sexy on top of the bookshelf or whatever, like, my dad was saying, like, that, like, he's not real, she's really real, and she's, like, fantasizing about being, like, a bad girl, and she's like, oh, if I had, like, a bad boyfriend who I could, like, you know, be sexy for and shit like that, like, this is how it would be. That's her fantasy instead of his, even though they show it to you to make it think he's the one fantasizing about her. But anyway, that's my dad's theory. But anyway, stuff like that, you know, it's kind of interesting. And then I remember I was going to write this story one time, and I never did. But I remember, like, okay, this is, like, the weirdest reference ever in terms of, like, to be inspired to write a story. But there's this one lyric in, like, you know, Hot in Here, the Nelly song? Like, there's this one line in that song that says, like, I got secrets, can't leave Cancun or something. So I was gonna write this story about, like, this, like, vacation island where all these people are at, but then it starts to get kind of trippy and shit, kind of similar to Lost, I guess, but this is before Lost, and it has nothing to do with a plane crash or any of that bullshit. But basically it's just they start to notice, like, weird inconsistencies or some shit. They all think they're on vacation or something, but then they start to notice things aren't right, and then in the end it turns out that they're trapped on the island, and that's why they have no memory of that, you know, their outside life or whatever, or some shit, whatever weird shit was going on. They realize they can never leave the island because they're not really human. They're really just, like, this is like an island where that's like notorious for like people vacationing to like, you know, cheat on their spouse and or just be wild, just gamble and have sex, do drugs and all that fun shit, you know. And so they go to this island to do that, to be naughty. And then when they leave, like all their sins or whatever sins are left on the island, and those sins, like in another dimension or whatever, take the form of these human beings who like imagine themselves to be human, but really they're the incarnated spirits of like the secrets the other people were leaving on this island that they didn't want, you know, anyone back home to know about or whatever. So I'm sure something like that has been done already, but you know, I wanted to write a story like that, but never got around to it. But maybe someday I'll take some concept similar to that and make it into a new story. I don't know. But anyway, I want to read one more. I really want to read that fucking Cherry Eyes story. I think I'm gonna read that one next. Because I want to know what's going on with Paige. Anyway, I'm sure it will just be some semi-emo, semi-sexual, semi-fetish, semi-whatever bullshit story, but let's see.